Okay, so as I mentioned earlier, and actually posted a screenshot of this deck list yesterday, this is an update to the Sultai Energy list I was playing last week. Basically, we cut a lot of what I guess I would consider subpar elements of the other deck and reconfigured the mana a little bit to include red. Just a light splash, obviously, for what I think are better energy payoffs than I had originally um, envisioned on the previous build. So for example, we don't have Ether Sphere Harvester right now, but instead, in its place, and in place of a couple of copies of Elder Gargaroth and just some general adjustments in the deck, we have this guy, Whirler Virtuoso. This thing is just really good against spot removal, which seems like it's probably more prevalent than sweepers are at the moment. But we can kind of choose how to engage our opponents based on what we think they might have. Like, for example, if they're more sweeper-oriented decks, then we can focus on trying to, uh, play cards like Glint Sleeve Siphoner that trade relatively favorably with those cards. But if there are more targeted removal, like Fatal Push and Heartless Act, those kinds of things, like Sultai would be. I know they have like Yahenni's Expertise and or Extinction Event and or Languish, but that's not universal. They're definitely going to have like Fatal Push, Heartless Act, Eliminate, that kind of stuff. But if they're more on that, then we can play Whirler Virtuoso and make sure we're getting something out of our investment, even if it's just like a single 1/1. The tokens can also be pretty good. If we amass, 6, 9, 12 energy, something like that, we can make a fleet of little Thopters and, Chandra, what the hell? The Kaladesh Chandra has been showing up a little more frequently lately, and this card's pretty good against that. Because they can't profitably kill Virtuoso and expect to keep their Chandra around. So that'll be a good card there. What's going on, Kenzie? Just breaking down what I'm going to be playing tonight. The other card that we are splashing for, in the main deck anyway, is a Braid. This is a card I would have loved to have had last week. So we played against a lot of similar decks that happen to have Aetherworks Marvel. And this can basically kill most of the things that we care about in that style of matchup. About the only thing it doesn't kill, if they have it, of course, Ulamog, that's their big payoff card anyway, so if they have that in play, we're probably just dead. But it's Scarab God. But it's not a big deal, I don't think. I actually don't recall even seeing a Scarab God last week outside of our own, so I'm not too sure how big of a deal that's going to be. We do have a couple Heartless Acts to maybe buy some time against it. So we'll see how that goes. Thoughtseize, I guess, can discard it if we get the opportunity. But the other thing that came out of all of this is, if you notice, we don't have any cards in our deck that have more than one of a single color mana in their casting cost. So we don't have like green from Bristling Hydra or Elder Gargaroth like we did last week. So that lets us basically play this guy more or less for free out of the sideboard. This will put us up a card in basically every matchup. Just at some point we can pay 3 mana to put this into our hand and then have a 5/5 for 5. That's basically the thing. It's just an extra piece of digital cardboard that we have access to. And a lot of these games seem to be more grindy affairs, so even if we don't really care about the ability to add all 5 colors of mana, although that could come up, just having an extra thing that they have to deal with is not irrelevant. Other than that, sideboard's fairly similar to what we were rocking last week. You'll see the Eliminates have found their way into the sideboard because they had to make room somewhere. But I did still want to have access to this card. Narset in particular can be somewhat of a pain in the ass to deal with. because a lot of our cards are predicated on drawing extra cards. Um, so we want to have some way to interact with that card easily. Really, the only two changes of note are that because we have red now, we have access to red cap melee, which gives us a super cheap card to be able to interact with opposing red decks, or it doesn't even have to be that. If we just feel like we need a 1-mana removal spell and we can afford to throw away a land, then we can bring this in. Just a really efficient answer, and that's really what Magic comes down to a lot of the time, is just doing what you're looking to do as efficiently as possible. The other card is Sorcerer's Spyglass. I think this is a better answer to Aetherworks Marvel than Wilt or any artifact destruction spell when you get into those post-board games. Like, this is not a card I would play in the main deck because it's not super good. This is more targeted for specific things, although you can bring this in and generally just name, whatever, Whirler Virtuoso, Scarab God. I guess there's another thing we could do if this card actually becomes a problem. Just random Planeswalkers, whatever the case might be. So there's that. I guess the other card that I have in the list that I didn't talk about is Vivian. I didn't even think about this card last week, but it seems pretty good to me. The deck that we're playing only has 17 creatures. There's actually more non-creature cards in the deck by a fairly significant margin. So the -2 ability isn't always going to hit, but I would say we're probably 55 to 60% to hit in most games, especially because we're usually drawing a decent amount of cards. We're playing things like Attune with Ether and Fable Passage that are going to take a lot of the extra land out of our deck, increasing our consistency for that ability a little bit, a few percentage points here or there. But even that aside, her passive ability of giving all of our creatures flash really is going to be nice when we get into the matchups where we board in stuff like Negate and Mystical Dispute and want to be able to fight on the stack. So if we can squeeze Vivian through the defenses of our opponent and then untap and sit back with all of our interaction, plus being able to threaten playing any of our creatures at the end of their turn or whatever the case might be, I think that's really strong. And it's also not irrelevant to give something like Uro or even just like Whirler Virtuoso, giving it Vigilance so we can also attack and block with it. That's the least exciting ability on this card for our particular deck, but I think the other two parts of it are quite good. So we'll see if I'm right or wrong. We've cut it down to 1 Nissa. Again, I had to make some cuts somewhere to figure out how to fit all of this stuff in, but still like having access to this card, but I think Vivian is slightly better more often. Like, playing this on 3 mana is okay, I guess. Like, if we don't have anything better to do, I guess it's fine, but it's really vulnerable to opposing creatures, and I think this gets better in multiples, whereas Nissa does not. Like this, we can do the Jace Architect of Thought thing, where we play it -2, next turn -2, play another one -2, and we can kind of, cycle through these if we really are desperate to find some action. This is much harder to do that with. Way more mana intensive if we are in that mode. The mana has mostly been good. I think there's even some argument for it being slightly better than just being straight Sultai, at least with the way we had it built before. Because we had, double colored cost requirements on a few of our cards, and some of those were timely, like getting Bristling Hydra down ASAP is usually what you want to do, but sometimes your mana doesn't work out that way. So cutting down the costs to only a single color of any given type helps alleviate that. And between Fable Passage, Ether Hub, Attune with Ether, we're going to be able to find whatever color we need. It's going to be pretty rare that we're going to be in a position where it's like we don't have access to black or red or something like that. Like green and blue shouldn't be an issue basically ever, but we'd have to have a pretty awkward draw to get totally screwed on our mana. But anyway, let's get going here. Jawed enough about this. Let's see if my theory crafting actually pans out here. I mean, this is not a great hand, especially on the draw. This is not a card I really ever want to have in my opening hand. We do have double attune, so we are going to be able to hit our mana. The question is going to be, like, we're going to get a blue, that's a given. But the question is, do we go for red or black? Because we don't exactly know what's going on here. So I'm going to risk this. This is a little speculative, but we'll see what happens here. If we can, like, draw Glint Sleeve Siphoner on our first turn, that'll set us up to have a really excellent sequence of turns. You're going to tune for a swamp. Alright, so we're probably going to have to... Okay, that helps. That for sure helps. I'm going to go ahead and get a swamp right now, because we might need to Heartless Act sooner than basically anything else. Karizev, okay. I think that Karizev needs to die. I don't believe we can risk allowing that to stick around, because that's going to be an extra 3 damage. They're on the mulligan. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, they're on the mull to 6, so we just need to make sure we don't die. I'm going to do this on combat on their turn. Before they attack, because I don't want them to be able to Embercleave. Taking 3 is not the end of the world here. Okay. Alright, Fable Push is pretty decent. I think what we're going to have to do... I think we need to Fable Passage, crack it for a blue source. And then we're going to Fatal Push this Bone Crusher Giant. We'll take 2. We're going to take, what, 7 next turn, go to 8? I think we'll be okay. I'm going to take a blue now. I don't want him... Like, he's probably pretty sure we're Sultai. I don't want to show him that we have red at the moment. Alright, so he's got Castle Embereth. I mean, he's going to pump it. There's, like, no reason for him not to, so... This nets 3 life saved on. That's the phrase I'm looking for here. On the exchange. Okay, so we're going to have 9 energy after this turn's over, so we'll be able to make several Thopters. So we, despite what it looks like, I think we may have stabilized if he bricks for a couple of turns here. Or like maybe a turn or so. We are going to have to spend basically all of our energy, but that's okay. he has another, like, shock effect or something like that, that's unfortunate, but... If he just has a land in hand, then we'll be okay. Which, it looks like he might have something, because he didn't spend his mana on Castle Amberith. Okay. But there you go, there's... Whirler Virtuoso literally just came in and saved our ass. Like, I believe that was probably premature on his behalf, but... That's okay. So, Red Cat Melee in, eliminates in, Heartless Act in. And we are going to take out the copy of Nissa. I think the Vivians are fine. My initial thought was to play this on turn 3, try and distract him with it a little bit, but that's not how that game ended up working out. The other good thing I didn't mention while we were talking about this earlier, really the only known deck that plays this card at the moment is Rakdos or Jund Sacrifice. So in Game 1 situations, when our opponents are looking at their opening hand, they say, oh, it's Jegantha. I should probably plan for Rakdos Sacrifice or whatever. They're not thinking of our deck, which is nice. It's going to inform their mulligan decisions in a negative way. But anyway, so we went up 5 removal spells, which seems a little excessive, but I mean, this card basically doesn't do anything in the matchup. It's, you know, shock myself to maybe take a shock out of their hand. Not great. And this card is just way too vulnerable. I would love to have an, I was going to say an option, but a card like, I forget which one it is, like Cry of the Carnarium or something in this matchup, but... Alright, this is a little awkward. Gonna have to make basically the same decision here. We got a game to give. Let's see what happens. We draw like Botanical Sanctum, then this becomes very easy. Okay. Okay, well, Forest helps. So that means I am likely to grab a blue source over a red source. Crack this now, save ourselves some life. I guess because we have Vivian, I can afford to, like, we have a turn 3 play. Or we have something we can play if we are a little worried about art mana. I guess I'll just play both of these. I kind of want to save the Abrade for the Grafdigger's Cage, so I'm not, like, gung-ho about spending that to kill a thing, if we can get away with it, especially because we drew another removal spell. That guy out of here. Let's see, so I'm probably just going to eliminate this Rampaging Ferocidon. Take 2, it's fine. Annex, okay. Alright, well, we drew another Abrade, which is nice. So what we can do now is... I think we probably want to Abrade Burning Tree Emissary and then Heartless Act Annex. We're actually playing one additional land than we were, let's see, this is on Devotion, in the previous deck. Alright, let's go ahead and abrade annex now, I guess. Again, just trying to save our life total as much as possible. Bomat Courier does not have the mana for that. Alright, well it's a land, I guess. I don't think I want to take 2 here. So if we take 2, then we take 2 off Chandra most likely. Take 1, that's going to put us to 7. As opposed to 1, 2, killing that, 3, 4. That'll put us to 8. I guess he has Castle Embereth as well. But that takes like his whole turn. Yo. Robber of the Rich. That's a card I would like to kill. Alright, so we're going to take 5 here, down to 7. Even if we do draw something, I don't think there's anything that gets us out of this position. We just bricked too hard. Yeah, I don't think I'm changing anything. I mean, we could bring in Spyglass to, like, stop Chandra, I suppose, but maybe that's better than Scarab God. Scarab God's really good if we get there, though. Even as just like a 5/5 for 5. To my knowledge, they don't play anything that exiles. So we can just continuously, you know, block something. Maybe they spend a removal spell to get it off the table. Alright, well this hand is, like, probably our best hand so far. Let's see, I think I'm just going to grab a green source, and we'll grab a black source afterwards with Fable Passage. My Courier. Okay. That changes things. This thing's probably gonna die. God. Yeah, we'll just make him have to have it. I will admit that I'm not, like, stoked to play against mono red with this particular list. Okay. Okay. I do want the card. If he's not going to attack me, then I'm taking the card. Okay. Alright, so I'm going to spend my energy here to play an Uro, just to get another land drop in play. Ooh, that's pretty good. I could play Attune with Ether and guarantee that we have Scarab God access next turn. I almost even just want to attack with Glint Sleeve Siphoner here just to make sure we have the energy to do everything. Because if I do this, I have to grab a forest, which is unfortunate. Like I grab forest off here, play that, grab probably a black source. And if I don't attack with this, it's probably dying anyway. So I'd rather get energy out of it, and he may not trade. Yeah, he's not gonna trade, so. Let's do this now. I want to get Scarab God, like, locked for next turn. So get a black source. Alright, so we have Scarab God next turn. Yeah, I'll take 4. That's fine. Okay. I do not want to pay a life here. So I think now, given Embercleave, I think what I have to do is Vivian plus Eliminate. Because I cannot afford to get hit by that again. I could put Gigantha in my hand, but that seems worse. Let's leave the Ether Hub open in case we have like a Braid and we want to play that instead. Alright, well, we don't want this. No text. Still got the energy. I'd rather block now. Or like, give myself the opportunity to block. Yeah, that's fine. Guess we got a land off of that. That's fine. Alright, so I am going to kill this. And then I think what I want to do is block this Bomat Courier and make him decide if he wants to... Yeah, okay. So we save a damage that way, take 3. And then I'm just going to play... I'm not doing that. Okay, so we got that. That's good. I'm just going to play Scarab God here. Oh, but fuck, I could have played that at instant speed. Whoops, that was my mistake. That was stupid. You can tell I haven't played that much with this card, because I totally forgot that was a thing we could do. Alright, so we know there's an Abrade near the bottom of our deck, which we're going to have to be careful about. That goes back to my hand, not back into play. Thank you. And he just realized that too, I'm guessing. Okay, well, a little bit of sloppy play on my part. But, yeah, we should have basically just ambushed him. Rather than let him know that we have Scarab God before he does anything. But yeah, Grafdigger's Cage does not stop Scarab God. Basically in any capacities. We saw last week activating Scarab God to basically put a token copy of a creature into play. because it's not the actual creature in the graveyard coming into play. You're exiling that, and you're putting a copy that's a token into play. So yeah, this does not stop it. The only card in our deck that this actively stops is Uro, and that's not that big of a deal. 3 mana, gain 3 life, draw a card, play an extra land was perfectly fine in this game. So yeah, okay, well, let's shake the rust off a little bit. One thing I have been toying with is trying to figure out some way to get in either a Spire Bluff Canal. Don't own those. Thought I owned them. As just like another blue-red source that's a fast land. I like fast lands in this style of deck because I feel like a lot of the time our first 2 to 3 turns are the most important. But I also don't want to like overload on like additional comes into play tap lands. Like between Fabled Passage and these lands beyond turn 3, we're already kind of maxing out on that. Let's see, is there an argument for replacing like 1 Botanical Sanctum? We actually don't have that much blue in this deck. And if we're basically in that case switching out a green source for a red source. How many green sources do we have for turn 1? Attune. Got 8 there, 9, 10, 14. We cut that down to 13. That does give us a red source in our deck that we can use to cast Uro, which is not something we have. Basically, anytime we have to search for Mountain, or if our only red source is Blood Crypt, or if we have to search for a Swamp, basically these cards cannot cast Uro once it's in our bin. So that is a positive. In fact, you know what? I think I'm going to try it. Spire Bluff. I can type. Alright, let's add 1 Spire Bluff. Let's give this a shot, because I feel like in all of my test runs with this, it hasn't been much of a problem, but those were situations where it was a little tight. We had to fetch double forest. And I realized we didn't draw any of these to begin with in that game. But this gives us an extra shot at drawing basically 2 of our splash colors. We're primarily a green-black deck at heart. And we're splashing a little bit of blue and even less red. So this maintains our blue count while giving us 1 more red source. And I think 13 sources of turn 1 green are fine for Attune. So tweak the knobs here a little bit. We did manage to beat Mono Red, which I think is probably not a great matchup for us. Opponent goes first. Let's see, so we could... I don't want this. If this were a colored source of some variety that doesn't require us to like make a decision, this were like a duel instead of basically any of the other lands in our deck, then I think this would be a pretty easy keep. If this is mono red again, I think we're going to get absolutely trounced. I'm going to mulligan. There we go, this is way better. So here I am going to keep... I'm going to shove the Fabled Passage, because this gives us our blue, we'll get a black with Attune, we'll have red off of this for Whirler Virtuoso, and we can also spend another pair of Thoughtseize. If Thoughtseize is really good against this deck, then having 2 is going to be better. And if it's not great, it's probably better than having an extra land. Like, the difference is marginal. Like, if this is mono red again, Thoughtseize is a card I'm obviously eager to take out because I just did it. But, yeah, see, perfect. In that case, though, I would still have something I could do with it. Alright, so this is just like the standard Sultai mid-range list. Wow, he didn't Thoughtseize me, huh? Because we have another Thoughtseize, and he's pretty light on mana, I'm just going to take his Thoughtseize. I don't care about any of this other stuff, I don't think. Not right away, anyway. One problem is that he does have an Ether Gust, which can tag our Whirler Virtuoso, so that's kind of a pain in the ass. So I think what I'm going to do is actually wait a turn. That way I can Thoughtseize him and play Whirler Virtuoso in the same turn. Hopefully bricks on land here, that would be nice. He's just gonna like do this end step. Seems like. Not even. I'm going to play this Ether Hub because it's pretty unassuming. And if he plays Nissa and animates a land, then we can abrade it and basically just kill his Nissa. And the energy doesn't make any difference to me. I can only make 3 Thopters as it is. Yep. Hopefully he does it on like Hinterland Harbor or something. Yep. So we're gonna braid here. If he wants to Ether Gust it, we'll put it directly on top and then Stone Rain him next turn. Like, basically, this doesn't do anything. That's what I'm saying. Let's see, I want to make a couple Thopters here. Don't need to go ham, though. Just enough to kill Nissa. Let's, leave our options open here. This way he needs to actually draw a land. Alright, so we're basically all in, but that's okay. You could play a Mopey Hydroid Krasis for X equals 2 here, draw a card. Our Whirler Virtuoso is going to attack through it. kind of just has to. He needs to find a land, which he did not, which is excellent for us. I'm going to play Gigantha here, even though I'm a little concerned about Extinction Event. I think we're going to need to have some chunky dude. If he's going to land like a Nissa this turn or something. And if he doesn't, then we just have a 5/5 we can start harassing him with. This is what I'm talking about, though. Like, this is a grindy matchup. And if we didn't have Gigantha here, our clock would be, like, pretty meager, relatively speaking. Okay, so he's got, like, a Heartless Act or an Eliminate or something. Fatal Push, okay. This doesn't get Fatal Pushed either. This matchup is going to get a lot better for us post-board, I feel. So we can take out, like, Heartless Act. Heartless Act is not particularly good in this matchup. Eliminate's pretty good. Nice. Got him. Great. This at least gives us a card off Glint-Sleeve Siphoner, so it is what it is. I just want to see what's going on with his hand. Probably nothing. Yeah, Crisis is pretty good. Our Thoughtseize was certainly better than his there. So keep him off Nissa Ultimate for a turn. But yeah, we're gonna lose this game, like, almost for certain. I can't even think of a card outside of, like, maybe Scarab God that could get us out of this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We can play it and activate it the same turn, which would be pretty good. I don't know why he's not crashing with all of his lands. Like, losing one land to deal us 6 damage or something seems pretty good to me. Okay, Uro is a thing. Let's see, so we can kill the Hydroid Krasis, attack the Nissa. Do you have a Ether Gust here? Nope. Okay. Siphoner off of Ultimate. Or Spiral, okay. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we can do this. I just need to grab the blue source. Or green source, I guess it doesn't matter. Actually, yeah, I don't have any energy, so it doesn't matter. Oh, wait. Can I actually do this? 1, 2, 3, 4. No, this Blood Crypt is fucking with me. Alright, well, whatever. Tap the right lands, please. Alright, there we go. So if we draw basically another green or blue source, then we can do it. There we go. Thank God. Got there. Auto-pay. We need to draw Scarab God ASAP. Scarab God's pretty good against taking out opposing Uros, too. For the record. If he attacks with his Uro, I think I'm just taking it. Unless he attacks with everything, then I'll chump it with Glint Sleeve. Yep. In fact, I think I'm still going to chump it. This Glint Sleeve Siphoner isn't doing a whole lot right now. It says also prevent him from having Fatal Push to push our Uro. Eliminate. This is eliminate, I'm just scooping it. Oh, he's gusting. I'll give it one more draw. We're gonna draw Uro, then we'll play Uro. Let's see what's on the top here. I don't even want to show them that I have that, to be honest. There's nothing we're gonna draw that's gonna matter off that Vivian. Alright, so in this matchup, do not want Heartless Act, do want Eliminate. Probably not a Braid. Negate's reasonable. I think Nissa is not good. I have not drawn a single copy of this card tonight. The hell? You're like my bread and butter. Let's go, buddy. Part of me wants Spyglass, because I don't think he has a good answer to it, most likely. He might have like a Maelstrom Pulse or something, but playing this and preemptively naming Nissa Who Shakes the World really diminishes the impact of that card. Need to make one cut. One cut, what do I cut? Maybe a Whirler Virtuoso. Doesn't seem like the greatest card. I could cut a Glint Sleeve Siphoner, but when I'm on the play, there's like a really good chance that I get to go like Attune Glint Sleeve Siphoner or Ether Hub Glint Sleeve Siphoner, and that's how I can run away with a game. If I'm on the draw, it's more justifiable to make a call like that. I think what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to cut a Vivian, I think. I just don't think... Oops. There we go. I don't think the Planeswalkers are completely necessary in this matchup, and if we, like, play a Vivian, then he just, like, untaps and plays Nissa and smashes it and kills it. Like, that's going to put us in a really bad spot. Like, this hand is, like, almost perfect. As long as we don't get freaking Thought Seized and lose our Sorceress Spyglass. See, now we've got all of our mana online. If this were a Thought Seize instead of a Fatal Push, this would almost be the perfect hand. Hinterland Harbor. Okay, that works. His hand is like literal nothing. And he had a Thought Seize too, thank fucking God. This, who shakes the world. Takes my negate, probably. Wow, it takes an eliminate, huh? Nice. I'm sure he would have preferred to have taken that. Thanks for showing up on time. Unless he drew some way to turn on his Revolt for Fatal Push, then he also can't push this thing. Unlike us. What can he play on 4 mana? I don't think there's any reason to grab Gigantha right now, because we're not even playing it next turn, even if we do grab it. I'm going to leave Negate up just in case he has something like Vraska. Yeah, that's fine. This is our only clock, and we have Nissa tied up as it is. So, do this now. Or attempt to do it. He might have Mystical Dispute. Or another... I guess he's got another Fatal Push. This gets both of his Fatal Pushes out of his hand, so... It is what it is. Alright, so this turn we can... What cards does he have in his bin? He might be able to get Uro in play. So I think what I'm going to do is... It's Thought Season. Ooh, Krasis, that's a good one to take. Hell yeah. And then I'm going to put Gigantha and leave up Fatal Push. If he draws like Fable Passage, I guess next turn we can Fatal Push and play Gigantha, so it's not the end of the world. I did have Fatal Push rolled up to kill Hydroid Krasis, but I don't think... So if we play Gigantha now, he's definitely going to have Uro next turn. So that being the case, I think we need to save this Fable Passage until the following turn. Because I can't crack this for a black source. I can't crack it now. Actually, yeah, I can't crack it now and then Also have Revolt on for Fatal Push. So just get this Ether Gusted. It's fine. I understand that's going to happen. Oh, he had it locked up anyway. Yes. Exile your entire graveyard, please. Cool, so he cannot stop me from doing what I want to do this turn. So we'll grab a blue source, as we already have 2 green sources. Extinction event. Well, our Gigantha's gone next turn. Unless we draw a Negate or a Thoughtseize. I feel like I have to keep it because I need to force him to use that extinction event before I do anything else. I cannot play Scarab God right now because getting that extinction evented is like lights out. This card will win me the game if I get around to it. Okay, another Narset's fine. I wish I had like a Glint Sleeve Siphoner or something. Something that's like kind of innocuous that he doesn't really want to use Extinction Event on, but can apply a little bit of pressure to these Narsets. Maybe even like a Whirler Virtuoso or, Jesus Christ, Rogue Refiner would also be good. Yes, Ether Gust it, it's fine. Oh, he's fucking gonna Thoughtseize me. Game's over. Okay, well, let's move on. That Sorcerer's Spyglass bought us a shitload of time. We just, like, did not draw very well afterward. Well, good thing we don't have double Botanical Sanctum this time, although now we got 3 black cards in our hand that we can't cast. We're on the play. I think because we have double Virtuoso and the mana to cast it, provided we draw any land in the deck, I think we kind of have to keep it. Okay. Another card that would be good to be able to cast, so let's hope we rip here. Hopefully we rip a non-Fabled Passage source of mana. Literally any other land in the deck. That ain't it. I would have even been fine with a Tune with Ether there. let's just get rid of Thoughtseize here. By the time that rolls around, that's not going to do anything. Showing him a black card while we've got 3 other colors of mana is kind of trash. Yeah, but oh well. Alright, so more of this shit. So let's bring these in, these in. Oops, I want those. Do not want Heartless Act or Braid. Want negates and cut here and there. Or no, I'm sorry, we cut Nissa. Okay. Same sideboarding. Hey, look at that. All the colors of mana. It's a Christmas fucking miracle. I hate that this isn't just open. Like, why? Why does this have to be like a little, you know, like a rosebud? Sweet. Let's get an island here. Heartless Act, negate Ugin, Growth Spiral. I think I am just going to take Heartless Act here. We have negates for this Ugin. We might draw another Thoughtseize. I'm not really worried about his own negate at the moment. It's a little odd that he didn't hold that up. If we draw a Vivian here, I'll play a Vivian just to sneak it in under this negate and punish his ass. Okay, but we did not. Oh, he's 4-color too. He's got a Ketria Triome. Ooh, Spyglass is also an answer for Ugin. I think I'll play a Siphoner here. To my knowledge, he doesn't have any sweepers. And even if he has like an Extinction Event, it only gets the Glint Sleeve Siphoner. So that's presumably what he would want to kill. Yeah. Oh, he's gonna lose his only source of red mana unless he wants to spend a freaking counterspell on this thing. Which he probably has to. Ooh, thought he was good there. So now we can, even though he can't activate Nissa once we play Sorcerer's Spyglass, I do want to keep him from being able to get double the mana off of all of his forests. So what I'm going to do here is attack for 5 on it, and put it into a range where we can kill it with Glint Sleeve Siphoner next turn. And then we're going to Thoughtseize him and name Nissa with Spyglass on this turn. We have another Spyglass, so we can always play that on a different turn. We also have Uro that we could play. I think that can wait. Yeah. Probably should have done that first, to be honest. But oh well. It is what it is. Kind of thinking I I should just play the Spyglass now, so next turn I can be a little more mana efficient. But we'll hold off. This at least makes it so he has to commit another Nissa, like, at some point. I don't think my attack was wrong. I do think it is good to essentially force him to have to spend mana on cards that he like already has. And because we're losing the life race, I'm not going to attack with Rogue Refiner. I want him to have to make the call. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to attune for a green source. We'll play another attune for a red source. And then we'll play Uro and get both of them into play. This way we don't have to spend an energy to do it. Ooh, there's that too. I'm okay spending an energy, I guess. I just want to get the attune in the bin for this Uro. That's fine. Get red. We'll play the red because he might not know what our last card is. Like, might think we have a removal spell of some variety. Yeah. Immediately block. Drawing all the shit. Okay, there we go. That's the card. That's what I wanted to see. And because we're going to one-shot this Nissa next turn with Uro, I don't want to send Glint-Sleeve Siphoner there. This last attune, get a blue source, play it. Next turn, I guess. Cool. Drawing that negate was really damn good. Because now he can't play like Ugin or something. Alright, cool. Alright, when we draw mana, we can do things. That's how magic works. Wondering if I should cut Vivian's for Mystical Dispute. Just have like a couple other counter spells that can tag Nissa or Uro on the recast or something, or his own counter spells, which I have to imagine he's got. I think I'm going to take these out and bring in a pair of Dispute. I don't want like a shitload of counter spells against a Thoughtseize deck, but having a few is much better. Because like that just gets Ether Gusted all day anyway. Opponent's likely going to choose to go first. Seems like makes the most sense. Okay, hand's great. Don't Thoughtseize me, bro. Nice. Ooh, he does have a Thoughtseize though. That sucks. After this. I mean, what's he gonna Thoughtseize? Is he really gonna Thoughtseize like Sorceress Spyglass? don't care about any of these other cards. If we had any creature, I might care about the removal spells, but that's not the case, so... Got it, bro. You want to take the Scarab God? Yep. Ooh, that's pretty decent. Let's just fire up both of these attunes. Blue source. A red source. Might be able to get like a fast Uro here. If we get Scarab God down, I guess he has a Heartless Act, but then it just goes right back into our hand and we don't care. If we can get Scarab God down before he can get his Uro rolling. Ooh, and we drew a backup one even. That's pretty good. Let's play this because he might fear like Mystical Dispute or something. He also bricked on a land on Uro, by the way. So there's no Nissa this turn. He's going to eliminate Heartless Act. So if we play Scarab God here, and he Heartless Acts it, then we get it back next turn. If he has like a Nissa, then he can actually like put us in a position where Scarab God can't attack the Nissa, and we might like start running out of time. I also don't want to let him have a 5th card in the bin for his Uro, if we can help it. I'm just going to name Nissa. We'll put Gigantha in our hand. That way we spend all of our mana, and we don't like play into the cards he's got. Okay, he just has 2 Heartless Act. Perfect. Let's see, so we can Uro, but that doesn't make a lot of sense. Now he has to spend, like, mana on his turn, or else we get to do our thing. A return to nature, okay. There's that, I guess. Yeah, we've got energy, so we can cast Uro. That might have been stupid because he's got his own Uro, but this also won't let him cast it on his second main phase. And this will give us a chance to potentially draw another Sorcerer's Spyglass. Now that I don't have that, I don't care. Okay, Rogue Refiner is reasonable. But I think I have to basically force him to spend Heartless Act. Because we need to get the Scarab God down, like, ASAP. I could play Gigantha. He might not want to spend Heartless Act on Gigantha, knowing that we have a Scarab God. No, I think we just have to make him go through the motions. The good thing is this interaction doesn't deny us a draw step, which Aether Gust would. Although I guess you can't Aether Gust Scarab God, so there's that. Okay, so he's going to have Uro, which is unfortunate. But we can match it with our own. Like we can go Scarab God, Rogue Refiner, and threaten to trade. Let's go, dude. Something good. Let's settle for like an eliminate here. Whirler Virtuoso. Okay, so I think given that, I actually want to play Rogue Refiner and then Whirler Virtuoso. That'll let us make 2 tokens. So when he eliminates Whirler Virtuoso with the card on the stack, we'll be able to still make 2 Thopters. We draw blue here, that would be good. We have to spend an energy. So unfortunately, if we do that... Okay, so we are going to get our energy, actually. That's good. So we can make 2 Thopters here. We'll still have blue up for the recast on Uro. You have Hydroid Crisis. Or is he just going to activate Castle? Seems like kind of an odd call. Alright, so now the question is, do I... No, I need to force him to use this eliminate on, like, either of these creatures. So I need to make a couple of Thopters here. Walk here, here, here. Actually, I don't want to do that. Just jump here. I'll take 3. I don't want to lose my Whirler Virtuoso because that's my, like, incentive for him to spend eliminate. If he doesn't do it, then I'm playing Scarab God next turn. He could also eliminate the Thopter token. I didn't think about that. Okay, good. He also can't activate Castle. He doesn't have enough black mana to do that. Is he doing Hydroid Crisis? Yeah. What a bitch, dude. Alright, well, we've got to keep that stupid Nissa from ulting, so... Gotta march these guys to their deaths. Or one of them, anyway. Oh, he just lets it go. That's interesting. So let's see. We play Uro, Glint Sleeve Siphoner. Problem is Scarab God I don't think is going to have enough time to matter, so I think we have to get Uro into play. really surprised he didn't block with his Hydroid Krasis there. Wonder what he was thinking. Yeah. Yeah, he drew another one, didn't he? I'm done here. Alright, Scarab God not having a lot of time to get shit done. It ate a couple of Heartless Hacks, but that wasn't good enough. Him having what I presume to be probably the one of Return to Nature, or whatever the hell that was that he played, was pretty unfortunate for us. But, so it goes. Alright. Actually, let's look at this list. This is like pretty close to what he's playing. Probably no Ashiok, possibly no Shark Typhoon, but this is very similar to what he's running, I would imagine. Alright, well, I am going to take a brief break. Gonna go grab another drink or two and collect my thoughts on if I want to make any adjustments moving forward. But as I've been doing lately with these arena streams, I'll just kill the camera so you can look at the list if you feel a desire to do so. But I will be back in just a few minutes. Okay. So one thing I'm thinking is that we don't have any way to kill planeswalkers like in our entire deck, like just on a one-for-one removal basis. I'm not really excited about playing like a card like this because of the like double black to kick it up. But I think we might be able to get away with it. I'm thinking partly what I want to do is I think I want to add like one land and two of these. So how do we squeeze that in? Because for the most part, we're not playing like everything at instant speed. So I don't mind playing like a sorcery speed removal spell. Even in the like beatdown matchups, we can just, snap this off early and then come through with fatal push and whatnot at some other point. But I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this Heartless Act out of the board. I'm going to move one Abrade, bring in two here. I'm going to cut a Vivian just because I felt like I haven't had enough time in a lot of our matchups to play this, and it's like a little small. So maybe that means I should cut another one for the land. I was thinking about cutting a Heartless Act because I don't want to be just like a pile of removal and like nothing to do, Like we don't have great card advantage unless we're already establishing a good board position. Like we're not playing, Sphinx's Revelation or something like that, where you can just one for one, one for one, one for one, one for one, and then reload. I don't really want to cut a Fatal Push. I think 3 is a pretty good number. And this covers a lot of what Bloodchief's Thirst can cover. Although we're going to have to prioritize this card for Planeswalkers in the post-board games. In matchups like the ones we've been playing against for the most part. Maybe I don't want 2 copies of Eliminate. Maybe 1's okay. We can move 1 copy of Heartless Act. And then I think what I want to do is go up like... If we're going to add some double black... Maybe like an Overgrown Tomb. I said we're like a base, like black-green deck to begin with. Yet we only have the 4 Blooming Marsh. This will put us up to 25 lands. I think what I'm finding is that, for the most part, as long as we can cast our spells and do so in a mostly timely fashion, we're in good shape. Honestly, maybe this should be a Steam Vents. Just to make sure we like always have access to either color. Yeah, I'm gonna take it. Steam Vents. We've got 4 shocks. So these can come into play untapped if we absolutely need them to. Otherwise, we can just find a way to sneak them into play without disrupting our curve too much. And maybe instead of this Assassin's Trophy, we have like an Ether Gust. I guess I need to do it over here. Ether Gust is so damn good. Oops. Like I talked about this last week, this isn't really a card that I generally like having in my deck, because the downside is pretty real. But it's a good catch-all, and now that I'm kind of starting to get a feel for what's going on in the format, at least to some degree, I don't believe this is the kind of card that I want all that much. If we could have Ether Gusted Anissa like at any point, basically, in some of these games, either when it's on the stack or in play, we would have been in a decent shape, and a lot more decent shape, I should say. So I think I'm gonna cut this stupid thing. Yeah, I'm gonna cut that. So it's weird, like our main deck is basically Golgari based, and our sideboard is like Grixis pepper to taste. um, it's fine though. It's fine. There's no problem there. Okay, so we're up to 25 land. We've added, so we're back to 13 green sources. We've added another black one to help pad our double black requirement on this a little bit. We even cut a red card out of the main deck to make our red mana requirements a little bit better. So we're basically Sultai splashing Whirler Virtuoso at this point, with the potential to go up to a little bit more red in the post-board games if we need to. Yeah, I think I got maybe a little gung-ho on this card initially, and having 3 copies is a little overkill. And I still think I like having the split between Nissa and Vivian. Like, we could have cut this instead of the 3rd Vivian or something, but I think that's fine. This, like I mentioned last week, this gives us the potential to just, shoot him for 10 damage out of nowhere in the late game and just, snipe a win when we may not have had any other avenues to victory. So let's try this. Let's see what happens. Not fantastic, but this does give us 2 whatchamacallits, Thopters off of our Whirler Virtuoso. Oh, is this like Green Devotion or something? Grab a blue here. Oh, this might be Aetherworks actually. No, this is mono green. Alright, well, Wishes of Braid was a black removal spell at this point. This might just be better to have on the board, honestly. Like, entirely, just have all of our black removal in the main. We're gonna have to shock either way. Well, no, we're not, because we're gonna need to cast a Braid this turn. Very likely. So. This is actually going to be a pain in the ass to deal with. Because we have Fable Passage, Blood Chief's Thirst, Heartless Act. We have 1 Heartless Act. Do we bring it down to 2? I don't remember. Or maintain our 2, I should say. Turn Timber Symbiosis. Or in this case, turn Timber Serpentine Wood. Okay. See if he goes to put counters on Burning Tree Emissary. He might split them up. Yes. Alright, well, we don't get totally owned this turn. But we are going to take 6 here, which is pretty brutal. Problem is, this guy can't be blocked by creatures with power 2 or less, so Whirler Virtuoso actually doesn't do a fucking thing here to stop that. Which means we need to dig to a piece of black removal. As hard as we possibly can. my extinction event? That would be a great card to have right here. Yeah, like we're dead even if we draw a piece or remove here. Alright, give me you. I guess we'll take a braid. It's not great, but... No Vivians, no Nissas. Just want all the interaction. This configuration gives us the fastest Uro because we don't have permanents that we're playing to the board. In Planeswalkers, we brought in a couple more removal spells that we want to be casting anyway. And like we've got, I mean, look at all these one-cost spells. If our hand breaks the right way, then we could have like turn 5 Uro like easy, while also throwing in all this removal to slow him down. Scarab God, if nothing else, you know. So I think this is pretty much ideal in terms of what our 75 is currently looking like. Okay, we just need to find Uro. That's basically what I was hoping for. I think I want to attune first before I Thoughtseize. Because the worst thing he's going to do is play like Llanowar Elves. And I'm going to grab... I'll grab Great Source. Help Electric, okay. That thing will die pretty easily. I have to save this Fatal Push most likely. Ooh, Collected Company? Yeah, that's gonna have to fucking get out of here. Okay, we have a Braid for one of these Kazandu Mammoths. Fatal Push for the little Dingus. Then we just have to figure out what to do about that other Kazandu Mammoth. And that's more or less all we have to worry about at the moment. I'm just going to use Ether Hub for a red mana on some Braid. I think we're more likely to need blue than anything. So this should be pretty good. We will Ether Hub here, I think. So we're going to Thoughtseize him. That Turn Timber Symbiosis is way off, so I'm not too worried about that. We'll play this, so we have a red mana, and then we can, he's got to play a Mammoth here, right? Like, there's no future in him not doing it. Okay. We'll take 2. Then we will kill this. And we get to play a Glint Sleeve Siphoner? Hell yeah. Let's just do this now. I don't want him to have, like, Blossoming Defense or something like that. Yes. Alright, Rogue Refiner's a good draw there. I don't think there's any flash creatures that deck tends to play. That's a really good draw, too. So, I mean, not that he can block it with just one creature anyway. Oh, he can Collected Company. I guess there is that. Hell yeah. I guess I would probably concede to that too. That feels pretty bad. Collected Company. I forgot about that. Oh, what is this Ether Gust doing on our board? Get in there. Whirler Virtuoso seems pretty slow, so we'll take him out. This can at least like trade more reliably than this guy. And I would rather have the Ether Gust than the 4th Whirler Virtuoso, so yeah. Note, when your card says target green thing gets fucked, put it in your deck after sideboard. Sideboarding Theory 101 with CanMan87 Gaming. Follow me for more tips. Alright, well we didn't find a row that game, but that's basically how I wanted to draw it up. See, now I kind of feel like I have to get a red source. Let's see what happens. We'll play our Steam Vents first. Okay, so we have a second Attune. Alright, that makes everything easy. Now we just go for a black source. Scavenging Ooze, okay. Not too worried about that. I'm going to play Steam Vents, Attune for a blue source. Or, yeah, probably blue source. And then next turn we can Whirler Virtuoso. He's got a thing he wants to cast. Or, oh, he's in a Coco. Okay. See if he punishes us here with Collected Company. Can't think of what it would be, but... You got it, man. His curve's pretty low, because he's a Collected Company deck, so hopefully hit something that we can Blood Chief Thirst next turn and play Whirler Virtuoso. The Scarab God will be awesome if we get it down. Except that he has Scavenging Ooze, but... Alright, so this turn we have to just take off to deal with this Steel Leaf Champion, I think. But we might just have to kill Scavenging Ooze. If we don't kill Scavenging Ooze, then this isn't killing anything. And he's got 1 creature in the bin. He'll have 2 if we kill Steel Leaf Champion. If only we had 1 more mana. So it's hit. What happens? We take 6. Then he does whatever. Next turn we kill Steel Leaf Champion, unless we draw Scarab God, or draw mana for Scarab God. We just have to do this. Oh, we don't even have the double fucking black. Never mind. Forgot about that. Yep. Great. Well, that's just game because we can't block any of that shit. And we don't have mana, so. Alright. Alright, let's get these stupid fucking abrades out of here. I'm not seeing any Aetherworks Marvel, so I'm done. I'm off of abrade right now. Heartless Act, you're back in. Eliminate, you're back in. So now we are strictly splashing for Whirler Virtuoso. And sideboard Red Cap Melee. There, 2 Ether Ghosts. So now in that matchup, we can bring in 5 cards and we can take out, like, I don't know if Thoughtseize is good or not in that matchup, to be honest. We take out the 3 Planeswalkers, bring in at least the black removal. We do want Ether Gust, so we probably take out, like, probably 2 Thoughtseize. Probably don't need much Thoughtseize in that matchup. I kind of think of it as like mono red, where they're just trying to get you dead. I think this is fine. We still have, this is 4 red sources plus our, you know, wild card lands, I guess, if we want to term them something, to get us red mana on Whirler Virtuoso. And I do think this card's still worth it, so we'll try that. We'll just cut the stupid abrades, because, again, I have not seen anything resembling Aetherworks Marvel tonight. So, like, the number 1 matchup where I would have wanted that card has been a no-show. It ain't much, but it's honest work. What is this, like, Kethis combo? That was fucking stupid. I was like, oh, I need to do this so I can play Thoughtseize next turn, and then we drew a tune with Ether, and yeah, this is Kethis combo. Alright, well, we're just gonna have to hope that we get time to do the things we want to do. So now I'm gonna attune, grab Island. We're not gonna need that red source for quite a while. Thoughtseize. Probably need to take Rebuke here. Yeah, he can't cast any of his other shit, so whatever. Then he drew right pathway off the top. Oh, he has Tashar in there as well. Yeah, that turn 1 kind of fucked up all my plans. I should have had Glint Sleeve Siphoner in play last turn. Oh well. I don't think this is Kethis. This is like Tashar nonsense. So curious to see what this is all about. Mills 2 cards. Is he gonna mill me or him? Probably him. Alright, so I think here we probably just need to kill Emery. Call it a day. I'm gonna go grab my red source just in case we lose it for some reason. Oh, fuck. Keep forgetting. Alright. You know what? We have a backup one of these. Just kill this thing. The double black, man. Fuck, that is fucking me up right now. Do this, put Gigantha in our hand. See what happens. Let's hope a Girapur. Ether spell bombs in the format. I didn't even realize that. Okay, so this basically lets him draw a card every turn. For free. Well, sort of. There's Uro. I think it's got to be Uro time. We got to get him out ASAP. Although we could get... You know what, actually, let's get Scarab God. I don't exactly know what he's trying to get. I guess he could have a counterspell. He's got 2 rebukes, 3 rebukes. He's got all 4 rebukes in the bin. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, so yeah, he's probably not got a counterspell if I had to guess. Just see what happens. I'm gonna hold off on activating. Alright, so there's Tashar. I'm gonna hold off on activating Scarab God because I think we're probably gonna have to kill Tashar this turn. Well, we're not gonna get an opportunity to anyway. So if I play Uro, then he's going to activate Ether Spell Bomb. Oh, but I can't fucking cast Bloodchief's Thirst on Tashar. Unless I rip like a Blood Crypt here. So let's go ahead and activate this. Let's just take a Tashar off his hands. I will take a black source. Holy fucking shit, will I take a black source. Sure. This at least doesn't let him sacrifice it to Phyrexian Tower and get a shitload of mana. I like honestly don't have any idea what's going on here. Unless he's like trying to do like Thassa's Oracle type shit. Like him not Ether spellbombing there like doesn't make a lot of sense to me. How many Tashars does he have? He's 2 down, or 1's in play, 1's RFG. There's 1 more in the bin, so perhaps all of them, if not maybe 1 shy. Resolve his Hope's Gearper. There's a Luris and the last Tashar. Okay, good. So once this Tashar dies... Well, I guess it won't. Oh, he has Luris, okay. I think this is going to be a matchup where I bring in Mystical Dispute. Just keep him off Emery and Tashar. Yeah, I'm just going to sit back. I can't think of anything that he... Like, if he's going to combo me here, he's going to combo me. Nothing I can do at the moment. Yeah, I think he's going to try and build me, which is going to take a long fucking time. Block. Let's see. I think I just want to kill Luris at this point. So, yeah. No cast. Or no activation at the moment. Don't want that. I think he forgot that I had the Tashar token. Let's see, I need 4 mana for that. So I can play Forest, Uro, and yeah, let's make sure we don't do anything stupid here. Oh, that's in my bin, isn't it? Oh, nice. I'll take that. Hell yeah. Give me my own Uro. Marsh. I was like, wait a minute, what the hell's happening right now? Do I want to not attack with Hope of Gear? I guess it doesn't matter, because I'm not fucking gonna be able to interact anyway. Yeah, I really don't understand what his game plan is here. All of his Tashars are in the bin. To my knowledge, he can't get them back. They're in the bin, or exiled, I should say. The next turn, I can play a Nissa, crank it all the way up, and threaten to kill him in the air. Unless he grows some Ether Spell Bombs. Which he can get 1. But he's going to get a Chromatic Sphere instead. Okay. He's milling all my Thought Seizes. He's got to have Thassa's Oracle. That's got to be what's going on here. Nope. Let's see. So if I just crash with everything, he's dead, right? Like if I just play Fatal Push, he just dies. What does he have? He has... Alright, yeah, I have no idea. Alright, I need to take a quick leak. Must have broken the seal because I took a leak while I was on break. But I'll be right back. Okay, here we go. Kind of curious. Let's see. Historic. Curious what the hell he's trying to do here. It's like a list from last year. So I'm pretty sure all I want are the mystical disputes. So let's take out... We're going to take out Thoughtseize, actually, because he seems like he's going to be operating from a place of not having a lot of cards in hand that he can't just immediately put in play. Take out the Vivians. Just a couple more spells. I guess we could bring that in place of like one Uro. He showed us Tormod's Crypt in game 1, so probably unlikely that Uro's going to be sticking around. I'm going to see if I can look up a list, because I'm kind of curious. I have no idea what the hell his deck is trying to do. Yeah. Neither does he. Okay. That hand I was probably going to keep, for the record. Let's see. Yeah, I'm looking at a list right now of cards, or decks rather, published within the last week or so. Historic only, please. But I don't see anything in here about Tishar. Alright, anyway, whatever. Is this the site I just looked at? Yeah, I don't know. I've heard people talk about like comboing Tishar decks in the past, but I just like I can't see what the hell they're trying to do. Yeah, whatever. Alright, I'm off it. Okay, so let's see here. God damn. Like I said, the double black, that is not free. Fuck, man. I think I just have to, like, develop my mana with that in mind. Which is, like, something I keep forgetting about. Like, as I'm playing these games. Let's see, do we want to just get Seagate Restoration? I guess we'd get Restoration or Hagra Mauling. I haven't really been playing many Seagate Restoration decks, but then again, I haven't been playing a lot of Hagra Mauling decks either lately. This would be a nice one to have. Balged Recovery would be nice to have. I mean, all of these are just, like, kind of eh. Like, this is the only white card I want, but I have to spend 4 fucking mastery points getting it. I think I'm more inclined to play Hagra Mauling than I am Seagate Restoration in the majority of my decks, so... Dude, going back to Moto is, like, no... like, cakewalk. It's so archaic compared to Arena. I actually don't think I've even fired up Moto and actually played a game. Like, I've updated it in the last year, but I probably haven't played a game on Moto in the last 2 years. I was, like, playing some vintage at the time, and, like, that was basically it. This is a hand, I guess. It's got 3 cards we can cast, I guess we keep it. Mono red. Most likely. Oh, he's on the Moldify. Yeah, you can get out of here. I'm gonna give him 1 turn. If he wants to shock this, great. He's on such limited resources. Yeah, it's fine. All we need to do is get to a point where we can cast either Uro or Scarab God. Sure. Ooh, we even have Fatal Push for that idiot. Nice. I'll take that. I will take that. And we only have to take 1 off this Get to Lava Runner. Hell yeah. Yeah, dude. I don't even waste my time with Moto anymore. Alright, well, that's not the greatest. You're fucking kidding me. I hate it. Absolutely hate it. That's not going to eternalize anytime soon. If I don't kill this Bomat Courier now, it's just going to get more cards. He's already so many cards down, though. It's whatever. And I need to hit land drops. Like, if I rip, like a fast land or something, son of a bitch, on my draw step next turn, I'm going to want to, like, shoot myself. So, just be mana efficient this turn. Try and draw closer to some actual lands. If I lose this game, I'm going to be so sad. Alright, well, Fatal Passage is a thing. That helps. So now we can push and Blood Chief's Ascension, or Blood Chief's Thirst, rather. The problem is... maybe I should just focus on getting Uro out. See, yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. Oh, we can just do it right now. What the hell am I fucking smoking? Yeah. Yeah, the problem with that is you dump money into Moto, you don't own the actual cards, and now you're just like out whatever it costs you to draft it or whatnot. Seems kind of bad. I am just going to block Pyromancer here, I guess. He's probably going to cash this Bomat Courier in, so I just want to save life as much as possible. Look at all this bullshit. Like, every fucking black card in our deck and one black source. It's stupid. Maybe we can draw black source off of this thing. Sort of. At least now I can cast 2 of my fucking removal spells. I'm actually going to save that in case he has like a Chandra or something. I could Thoughtseize him here, actually. That might even be better than killing his Karizev. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 potentially. Yeah, that's fine. 8, 9, we go down to 5. He could kill us, in theory. He can't really play anything that threatening, so let's just kill his Karizev. Like, he doesn't have any way to get Uro off the table, as far as I'm aware. Sure. Yeah. Make it. It's a decent draw. Probably should have played a Rogue Refiner before I attacked, to be honest. So, like, if I ended up drawing double lands or something like that. I'm just gonna play another Rogue Refiner, fuck it. Yeah, better than buying a box and being like, fuck. We're good. Alright, thank God. Managed to get out of... We managed to beat the Molda 5 mono red player on the play. Yeah, we need more black sources in this deck. That was fucking stupid. Like, I think we just have to cut, like, Island and put another, put like a Watery Grave or something in here. That's just unacceptable to have that many black cards backed up in our hand. Alright, so bring this crap out, bring Thoughtseize out. Gust, eliminates, act, and red cap melee. Pile on the removal, and hope we draw a fucking Uro at some point. If we can get an Uro in like the top 10 or 11 cards, then we should be in good shape. And I'm talking about our opening hand being included with that. But yeah, we're definitely going to need to add a Watery Grave to this deck. Look at this shit. Whatever. Just give me any land here. Alright, that's fucking perfect. So I can go for Black Source here. Next turn, play Swamp, removal spell. Does he literally not have anything going on? Okay. Take one, I don't care. If he attacks here, I'm snap blocking. But then he's going to do that, which is fine. Yep. Okay. I think I just make another Whirler Virtuoso here. I have the entire board checked right now. Can play Rogue Refiner and leave up red cap melee. The board is becoming clogged for my opponent. Experimental Frenzy, holy shit. Okay, well that's a thing. I need to get a clock going. I don't care that he can internalize that later. I need to start making moves. Just all in, everybody. Double Experimental Frenzy. Wow, he does not have shit going on. Let's see. Can we do both this turn? I don't believe so. No, we cannot. least we get to hold up Heartless Act. It's not the end of the world. I don't know. I guess he just had, like, Experimental Frenzy land on top or something last turn. Sure. Yeah. Alright, well. I feel like we kind of got away with that one a little bit. Like, probably shouldn't have won those games, but alright. Okay, let's get in here. Give me Watery, not Wateroo, Watery Grave over an island. Honestly, one of these Fabled Passages might have to go. I think I'm actually probably going to cut 2 of them. They're just so slow. Let's see. Get off the screen. I want like a Woodland Cemetery. Give us a couple other green-black duels, or one other, I should say, and maybe like Drowned Catacomb. So basically what this will do is give us a few extra black sources. We just added 2, actually we just added 3 black sources to the deck. We cut 1 island and 2 Fabled Passage. So because we have less Fabled Passages now, our basics aren't as taxed alongside Attune with Ether. So we should hopefully not run into too many issues with either card being dead, you know? We only have 5 basics, but I think that's okay. I think just having the colors to be able to cast everything that we need to it's appearing to be more important to me at this point than basically anything else. Yeesh. I don't want to spend fucking 2,000 gems on that shit. Alright. Further iterating on the deck. Relic Robber, sweet. Get out of here. Okay. What did we just get? Why did we just get a prize? Oh, it's probably because I didn't let it play, like the animation play when I first loaded back into the menu. Yeah, I don't know what was going on with that mono red deck. I think he just kind of bricked out hard. Okay, so I think this is pretty classic. Drowned Catacomb, Aether Hub, Blooming Marsh to Rogue Refiner. On the play, even. That's pretty good. Yeah, it's it's been well crafted, we'll put it that way. Been chiseling away at it all night. Servant. Alright, so this is like Teamer Energy. That might be worth killing Servant for. But I think I am going to take a turn off and play a Rogue Refiner so that I can ensure we actually get to cast or draw a card off Glintstleaf Siphoner next turn. And the turn after that, we can play Whirler Virtuoso, Fatal Push, rather. so he needs the land. Yeah, when you're playing 4 colors, it's like a labor of love to get the mana to work. Okay. That being said, Fabled Passage would be a great draw right here. That's certainly serviceable. Uro allows us to Fatal Push this Rogue Refiner and smack for 5. And in theory, actually we could Blood Chief's Thirst as well, which I think I probably will. So let's do this. Let's colorless, green, blue. We're gonna put the Ether Hub into play off of Uro. That way we have another black source. Gonna Fatal Push this asshole. Get in for 5. And Blood Chief's Thirst this guy. Auto pay. And we still get to draw a card off of Glint-Sleeve Siphoner. Alright, this draw actually ended up working out like fantastic. Holy shit. I kind of don't think about this card as being a Fatal Push Revolt enabler, but it's definitely the case. So, cutting Fabled Passage actually doesn't hurt as bad in that sense. This triggers on upkeep. Pre-combat main phase. Okay. So that means if we could, we'd really want to get Uro out of the bin right now, but I don't think that's going to happen. So what is the best thing we can do? I think all I want to do right now is Rogue Refiner, Whirler Virtuoso. Just put as much power as possible in play and try and kill him next turn. So he's going to exile probably Uro. Yeah, he's definitely going to exile Uro. He's going to gain 2 life, going to 10. That's actually good. So now I can get a red source, and we don't have to spend an energy to activate Whirler Virtuoso, or pay for Whirler Virtuoso, so we can activate it twice. Nice. Okay. Excellent. That was like the best possibles. Yeah, it's fine. He better have a hell of a turn, because we're going to have more than lethal. He does not have enough to Ether Marvel and spin unless he also has Attune with Ether. Okay. That'll buy him a turn. It's fine. Ooh, look at this guy. He's trying to do the 4-color thing, too. I mean, obviously, as the Clothis, it's, you know, 4th color, but I kind of thought we might be the only person trying to get stupid with it, but apparently not. Do this to... Okay, I can't do it to Planeswalkers. Perfect. And we get to play that at instant speed. So it goes to 6 here. He does not have enough to get Uro back this turn. Sure. Yeah. That is not enough, I'm afraid. Okay. So I think what I'm going to do is give one of my Whirler Virtuosos Vigilance here. So he's going to be able to make 3 tokens. If I kill... Let's see, I can play Nissa to trigger Revolt and kill, like, Rogue Refiner, and that gives him 4 blockers. And I think if he does that... Actually, I can just bin this. That'll give me Revolt. And I have another Whirler Virtuoso. Hell yeah. So now I can Fatal Push. I guess it doesn't matter. Just kill the Rogue Refiner. He's going to make tokens anyway, so I'm not really concerned about it. He's going to make 3 tokens, and he can block 1, 2, 3, 4, and take 4. So yeah, like, doesn't matter how he blocks. Not good enough. Xaxes. Interesting, so we're in the 4-color mirror here, but he's got some interesting calls in his main deck. Most of our stuff's pretty good here, I'm not gonna lie. Like, maybe we want a couple of Eliminate. Like, everything tends to draw a lot of cards, so Thoughtseize is not very good. And this, if we're behind, this isn't gonna really do much to help us change that. Yeah, I think we want all the removal outside of... we might want a Heartless Act, but I kind of feel like we're a little removal heavy right now. We've got 5, 6, 9 pieces of removal. Like, we've got to get to the board at some point, so I don't want to side out too much here. I do want to keep him off his own Siphoners and Virtuosos as much as possible. I assume he has Siphoner. I don't think we saw it that game. Plus, cutting creatures kind of makes our Vivians worse, so I'd prefer not to do that if we can keep from doing so. This is an interesting hand. All removal. Sure, whatever. We'll see what happens. That wasn't too bad of a draw. I think I am going to push that. We'll save the Botanical Sanctum for next turn. Ooh, Brick. Brick City, you say? What do I want, Virtuoso or Siphoner? I think I'm going to take Siphoner because next turn we can hold up Siphoner plus removal spell. And if we want to, we can cast the Virtuoso in our hand. Or that'll just be it. Apparently Vivian's the Mirror Breaker. This card's really good in the right context. Okay, so Mana ended up working out okay that game. Go figure, you add 3 or 4 more duels to your deck and you can actually cast your spells on time. Not Kiki Jiki? I don't understand your comment. He had Triomes. I thought about Triomes. The problem is they always come into play tapped, so they're like pretty awful. Like if we could figure out a way to guarantee that we had like Triome on turn 1 or 2. Oh, yeah, that's fair. Like if I could lead on Ketria or Zagoth Triome like every game, okay, but we don't have a way to guarantee that. Like we don't have like proper fetch lands, right? So we can't fetch for this or this. I'm thinking about the mana a lot. Like it's actually pretty important. I'm almost wondering if we should go up to a 4th Uro. 25 land. Because I wouldn't mind, like if I cut. So the thing is, like, you kind of want Fabled Passage for Uros, but we've got so many cheap spells. Yeah, it is. Like everything's like been chosen for a reason. Like none of this is like just ham-fisted into place. Like we can't really mess with Ether Hub because that's like an integral part of actually getting our mana to work alongside all the energy stuff. Plus, like I talked about a little while earlier, there's so much potential for you to go like Ether Hub, Siphoner, and have like Siphoner draw you a card immediately, or Attune with Ether, Glint Sleeve Siphoner, and draw a card. Like I really put a high value on making sure this card functions like as early and often as possible, and so I don't want to disrupt that with Ether Hub. Fabled Passage is arguably the worst land in the deck, outside of like Mountain, because it's a land that comes into play tapped on our development turns, which are like turns 1 through 3, generally speaking, which is why I'm playing more or less the full set of these fast lands. But we need to maintain enough black sources to not have games like we did in that previous round where we were just on like 4 or 5 black cards in hand and 1 black source. So that's why we added the Drowned Catacomb, the Watery Grave, and the Woodland Cemetery. Basics have to be there to make these cards function, so you can't cut those, and you've got to have the right numbers for these. Like the reason I have more forests than anything else is to try and maximize our chance of being able to cast Attune with Ether on turn 1. So we have 1, 2, 6, 7, 10, 16 sources of, or sorry, this isn't turn 1, 14 sources of green mana on turn 1. So yeah, like everything's had a lot of thought put into it. Maybe double Blood Crypt is worse than like double Overgrown Tomb. I could certainly see that. But then we don't have that many red sources for our Virtuoso and sideboard red cap melees. That would bring us down to 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, 10 overall. Granted, we don't need a lot of it, but we do kind of want to have it on time for turn 3 Virtuoso some amount of the time. And it is pretty important to have red cap melee early in the games where you have it. So, like it feels like about the minimum amount of red sources that we can get to actually make the deck function. Alright, let's see if we can squeeze one more round in. I'm honestly surprised that it's been working as well as it has been tonight, only because I basically did not play any matches with this since I crafted it. This has all been just like theorizing what I should be doing. Oh, here we go. If we had another Thoughtseize, this would be a lot easier. I think we have to take the Puzzle Knot, because he doesn't have any other energy enablers, and we can't take him off Aetherworks Marvel unless we draw another Thoughtseize that we cannot guarantee we're going to draw. To a degree, I suppose, yeah. Okay, Uro. Get our Blooming Marsh on. So this is kind of the debate that I have sometimes between Uro or Rogue Refiner, and I actually, there's a conversation to be had that I probably should have played Rogue Refiner this last turn to have a clock. But, you know, it is what it is. I wanted to make sure we could actually get use of our extra land off of Uro. Okay. It's unfortunate, because now he's going to be able to spin Aetherworks Marvel. Because we kind of want to kill this Rogue Refiner, but we also kind of can't. Alright, well, he's going to get to do it anyway now, so whatever. Probably losing this game, but the fact that he has an Ulamog in hand already helps. Yeah. Please, nothing. Alright, well, yeah, we just lose. Cool. Excellent. Great. Grand. Wonderful. Okay, so we want Sorcerer's Spyglass. I wish I had more at this point, but oh well. Don't want Bloodchief's Thirst. Probably don't want Heartless Act. I don't want Nissa. And Scarab God is insanely slow, so let's bring in the Disputes. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, last week when we played against Marvel, that first round, the guy spun it like 3 or 4 times before he hit anything of relevance, so. Alright, this hand is considerably better. Auto-pay. Give me a black. I'm gonna Thoughtseize him next turn. Turn after that, we'll Rogue Refiner, and then we will sit on Mystical Dispute for a little while. What do you got, buddy? Ultimatum, couple of Rogue Refiners. I think I'm just going to take Aetherworks Marvel. It's the most obvious card. This turn, I think I'm going to sit back and dispute him, and then next turn we can play our own Rogue Refiner. Maybe draw another dispute in the meantime. But yeah, I mean, that's just what Marvel does, so whatever. Go away, please. Hey, look at there. Perfect. Siphoner works. Marvel will marvel if we let them. But I don't intend on that being the case. As much as I can get away with it anyway. This turn, I think what I'm going to do is just sit back. We actually probably need to shock that so we don't use all of our energy. We'll play a Whirler Virtuoso if he like goes to combat, which he obviously will. Surprise. Can I block? He would like to harness lightning. It's actually fine. Because he also has to spend energy there, so he doesn't get to like save it for a Marvel that he might rip off the top or something. Ooh, there's the man. Given that we're probably going to lose this Vivian... Well, let's see. He's got Rogue Refiner, Genesis Ultimatum, Ulamog. So the best thing that could happen for him is, I don't even know. Like, I don't even know what he could possibly rip here that would be that good. I think what I would like to do is incentivize him to attack Vivian. Okay. Unfortunate. That's okay. Like, maybe he only throws one creature at it. And I could just, like, Rogue Refiner plus play Uro. Nope. Dink. Yeah, resolving Genesis Ultimatum in the Mystical Dispute format seems hard. Okay. That was pretty good. There's an argument for bringing in Eliminate and being a little bit more of a control deck. Perhaps taking out, like, I don't know, a couple of attunes, like one attune and a Rogue Refiner or something like that, but I don't think that's the right way to approach this. Because, like, if he's on the, I'm going straight to 6 on Marvel turn 4, then, like, all of our removal spells are likely going to look stupid. Like, this is far better. Holy shit, this is good, actually. Alright, I'm actually going to lead... No, I think I have to Thoughtseize him, because if he Thoughtseizes me... Alright. Ugin, Uro... Honestly, I could just take Uro here. Yeah, we'll just take Uro. I'm not going to be able to get a blue source in play before he actually gets to cast Uro, so... Yep. Siphoner is actually pretty good here. Well, actually, never mind. I was gonna say we could, because we could like dispute the harness lightning or whatever. I think I just have to play Uro or Rogue Refiner. Probably Refiner. It'll make him have to use the harness lightning. So. Yep. Do you have another land? Yep. Alright, well, now we basically have to sit back on the gate for, like, the foreseeable future. That's good, because now we don't have to shock. Or actually, no, we don't. Okay. Cool. Wait, what the hell? Why did our shit cost 3 that turn? Sospechoso. 2, 3, 4. If he has another land next turn, or in his hand, aside from that Ugin, I'm gonna be mad. Let's see, 1, 2. I guess he can cast his Uro. Alright, whatever. Okay. If he doesn't drip a land, then we get to basically sit back. I'm actually okay blocking here. We're at a low enough life total. See if he goes for Uro. Fucking Christ. He ripped. Alright, well, we're not totally out of it. We have some outs here. Plus we have our own Uro. Eventually. We might even be able to get lucky here and cast our own. 4, 5, 6, 7. Nope. Alright, it's gonna have to be next turn. Why do you have to draw land that turn? Son of a bitch. He might just try and Ugin us here, to be honest. Nope. Besides, that is not the call. So if we play Uro and it dies here, then we just lose, but we don't have any other choice. Blue source, blue source, blue source. Ether hub, ether hub. Great. Alright, whatever. Stupid. I hate it. Alright, well, what did we learn? is not what I meant to hit. Alright, what did we learn? 4-color is still hard, even when you have access to Ether Hub and a tune with Ether. And I guess I don't know that the payoff is worth it. Like, in retrospect, it can't possibly be worth it, right? Like, this card's good, but is it worth skewing your entire mana base to account for it? Like, this is kind of an afterthought. Don't look at that. It's whatever. Is this good enough to, like, totally jack your mana? I think the answer to that is probably not. There were some games where it just totally came down and dominated. Like against that mono red guy 2 or 3 rounds ago. Just came down, made 3 tokens, like ate his entire board. Yeah, for the whole mana base. Like, theoretically, it's not that bad. Because you've got, before we even cut Fable Passage, we had 12 ways to, like, sort our mana out for 0 or 1 mana. But it isn't necessarily just that. It's like, how is your opening sequence of plays going to curve out? Because we had a number of times it was like, okay, so we want to, like, turn 1 Thoughtseize, and then turn 2, like, use, back when we had a Braid in the deck, in the main deck, like, cast a Braid, and then we also want to cast, like, Rogue Refiner. Like, that requires a very specific set of lands. It's got to be, like, Blooming Marsh into, like, basically some combination of Fable Passage and Ether Hub, or, like, other duel plus Ether Hub, or, I mean, it like, when you have hands that are like 2 Ether Hubs and a Botanical Sanctum, like, that doesn't lend itself very well to being able to, you know, cast stuff like that. And that's, like, the kind of shit we were seeing. Like, Fable Passage, Ether Hub, Botanical Sanctum would be, like, a hand we'd open up on, and then we'd want to, like, Thoughtseize, Abrade, and cast Rogue Refiner, or, like, Thoughtseize, Glintsleeve Siphoner, and cast Uro, but we wouldn't have, like, a way to get a blue source or something, because we'd have, like, Blood Crypt, Forest, Blooming Marsh, or, you know, something stupid like that. So I think, despite it being a little stupider on paper, I guess the consistency of playing 3 colors is probably just better. Although I do think I would retool this deck from this particular configuration. Like, I think the 4s in this list are probably not great. And we could either do with some amount of interaction, or some other creature, but I'm honestly not even sure what that would be. It's possible the right answer could just be, like, a straight up Sultai mid-range, Sultai control style deck, where we're not trying to play all this energy stuff to create this synergistic machine, and we're just playing, like, cards, you know? Like, Narset doesn't care what else is in your deck, as long as you have, like, a reasonable number of things to hit, which this deck has, what, 18, 27 ways to hit on Narset. Shark Typhoon doesn't care, except that you have mana to be able to cycle it or cast it. You know, Growth Spiral, just a great card to get ahead in the mana race. Again, doesn't care what you're playing around it. So it's like, we're giving up stuff like Rogue Refiner and Glintsleeve Siphoner, and the kind of the value engine that's contained within that, for a more stable mana base and more individually powerful cards. The problem is, this deck can't ever assume a different role other than being the control deck, unless we're talking about being played against something like a Yorion list that's like a super hard control deck, and plays like maybe one or two win conditions or something like that. Um, and we do not have a great way to pivot in those matchups into a more uh, proactive role. I mean, Shark Typhoon's not bad in those situations. Like we get to side out like crap like this, bring in some more counter spells and whatever else. But um, you don't ever kill people fast with this deck, which is what I'm getting at. Whereas with this list, you can just curve out 1, 2, 3, or 1, 2, 3, or something like that, and present like a reasonable clock. And you only need like light control elements to protect a lead. The problem is we just don't have a good way to manipulate the library in an inexpensive way in order to facilitate that. Like that's why Brainstorm is so good in Legacy and Vintage to a lesser degree, because decks like Delver are less prominent in Vintage, but it lets you see a lot more of your library, and as such, it lets you craft your hand to whatever the needs are in the situation at hand. And we just don't have access to stuff like that in a card pool as small as Historic, or frankly, even Modern doesn't even have enough cards to warrant that kind of play style right now. Things going on around it are so much more powerful. So, um, even a deck like, I guess I don't have it here anymore because I deleted it after the format rotated. But like the old Izzet, like Flash deck from the prior standard format, where you basically played everything in instant speed and you had access to cards like Opt and what else did we have? I don't know if there's anything else in the deck, but even having Opt in the list helps a lot. I think we were playing like, you had the option to play like Frantic Inventory and stuff like that. So, I mean, anyway, I'm kind of getting off on a tangent here. No, not Izzet Phoenix. It was like Brazen Borrowers, Bone Crusher Giant, Brineborn Cutthroat, Spectral Sailor, like that kind of stuff. Izzet Phoenix has a lot of those kinds of cards in it that let you manipulate your library, but it's more of like a critical mass, trying to just like gun, like shoot off a bunch of spells in one turn, and stock a graveyard full of phoenixes and like combo people out. Um, yeah, I wish I had that list still built up here, but I guess like, so for example, we'll take this like Rogues list. Like it was closer to this style of deck than anything else that exists in Standard right now. But like instead of let's say Ruin Crab, you had like Opt, right? And instead of like Vantress Gargoyle, we had Brazen Borrower and stuff like that. So this is like a way outdated Rogues list for the record, so don't worry about that. Um, yeah, I honestly I don't miss that format. Fucking Wilderness Reclamation and Nissa Worldway, or Nissa Who Shakes the World, just all over the fucking place. I'm so glad I don't have to play against that in Standard anymore. Like, you'll notice this particular list doesn't have any Nissa Who Shakes the World, but there's a lot of Sultai control lists in Historic that do have it. And it's like the one card I just never, ever, 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 ever want to play against. I'm just so tired of playing against it. Yeah, to be fair, I mean, a lot of people playing jank. I mean, the deck I played tonight is pretty janky. We had some good wins with it and good matches with it, but in all honesty, it's pretty janky. There's not really a reason to expand your mana into a fourth color. This was more like a can I do it, you know, type of thing, rather than I actively think this is like better than playing a Sultai list. So So I think there's one or two different directions I might go in terms of historic. I could just jump on the Sultai, bandwagon. Oops, what am I doing? And just like refine this list. I've seen some other lists. Like Reed Duke was playing a different list than this that I was watching earlier today. So that could be a thing. I could go back to the Sultai Energy version and refine that a little bit more. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I just love this card. I love playing with it. Like, love, love, love everything about this card. So I just want to play it like as much as I can. In all honesty, like this is the card that that made me want to get into historic. Because when I was like, oh, Kaladesh remastered, yeah, whatever, blah blah blah, and then I can't remember exactly where I saw it, but I was just dinking around online on like various Magic related sites one day, and I was like, oh right, Glint Sleeve Siphoner is in that set. Holy shit, yes. And so I just like got this really irresistible urge to play Glint Sleeve Siphoner, and I've even toyed with. I don't know if that I have a list built still. I even like toyed with just a straight Demir version. Although I think this is, yeah. I mean, if you look at this one here, I'd have to get the ether hubs in here, but there's a set of Glint Sleeve Siphoner in the board here. To be honest, there's probably not enough like straight up control decks that I would want to board this in historic. So this is probably just like wishful thinking, but I even looked into like building an updated version of like the blue black mid range deck that existed in standard back in that time frame with I've been playing Scarab God too. That card was there, but Gear Hulk, Scarab God, Glint Sleeve Siphoner, Champion of Wits, just all that kind of stuff. Because I played the shit out of that deck when it was in standard, and it was really damn good. So this Kaladesh Remastered is just like kind of like revitalized my joy for a lot of these cards. Although I still think putting Aetherworks Marvel in the set was probably an oversight, and while I don't think it's set to like dominate anything quite yet, it just has so much potential to do that, and it just seems like kind of a stupid call to me. But anyway, I'm rambling now, so that's my cue to get on out of here. So here's what we played, where we ended up. If you want to play the list yourself, give it a shot. I would not endorse this for any important event, but if you just want to have some fun on the ladder or whatever, I think this deck is perfectly fine. It's not like it's lacking in power. I mean, we're playing a Thoughtseize Uro Scarab God deck. Like, it can't be that bad. Anyways, I'm going to get out of here, so I'll get this uploaded on YouTube, so if you want to check that out later, or any of the other stuff that I've uploaded, it's youtube.com/canman87. If you're not following me here and you liked what you saw, would not hate having your support here if you'd like to follow me here as well. And you can also follow me on Twitter at canman87gaming, where I announce when I'll be going live, what I'll be playing, things of that nature. So I'm going to get on out. We'll be back on Sunday with something. I have no idea, but I do have a couple thoughts about what I would like to play. So stay tuned for that. Hope to see you there. If I don't, no problem. Have a good rest of your weekend. And I'll just see you guys next time.